Okay, welcome. We are doing the chess tournament right now. I'll just get it started and you guys can join up. I believe you just go through here. I don't know about 7 rounds. Let's do like 4. Initial time we'll do 10. Okay, it'll start in 10 minutes, but there should be plenty of time for people to just join up. Go to competition talks, guys. That's where you'll find. Don't usually host chess tournaments around here. This is a bit of a first for me, but should be pretty fun. Got oak. Beautiful. That's all working. Just name this chess tourney. Beautiful. Okay, oak is in. Don't see anyone else just yet. Oh yeah, I didn't join my own tournament. Should probably do that. So I think we got Chessis, Info possibly, and whoever else decides to join, possibly Piper. Not sure. Unfortunately, it's been tough getting anybody to sign up for any game. We were like, what game should we play? I didn't want to play Hellish Court, but I'll definitely do that like I promised. I'll do a Hellish Court event later this week. So still be on the lookout for that. That's not me saying that I don't want to host anything Hellish Court related. It's just, I don't know, it's Sunday. Thought it should be more of a casual type thing. Okay, nobody else yet. I don't think. No. Swordplay can be chess play, but this is a bit much. Well, There actually are quite a few chess players in the server, so that's why it came up. Anonymous. Somebody named Anonymous is with us? I guess somebody who didn't make an account or something. That's okay. I don't mind. Just helium huffer. Okay. Or are these just people in the chat? I'm not sure. But anyway. If anyone wants to join me, by the way, to commentate or whatever, feel free. Who's Helium Huffer? Oh, somebody on the server. Okay. It looks like we've got some newer players in the server who are coming out of the woodwork to participate, which is nice. Just make sure Chessus knows what's up. And Vinard, because Vinard said he would be around soon. I don't know. But there's no obligation, obviously, for him to join. What's up, Buffoon Crusher? Okay, we might have to push this back a bit because people are coming in very slowly. Don't know how you do that. I know there's a way, I just don't know how. What if I go back? No? That doesn't do anything. Okay, at least they didn't shut it down by mistake. That's info is in our group. Yeah, I saw there was a way to push back tournament, so how's my studying going? It's going pretty well. Got a bit of a break actually this week with that. I do have one assignment I should get done, but other than that, I've got some more days off, so yeah, and my marks have been good, so happy with that as well. People need to join like right now because the tournament's starting in 2 minutes. How to... Okay. Venu's turning on PC? Okay. Where's Chessus, though? I thought Chessus was with us. Jesus. Thanks. Chernobyl can't play, yeah. Okay, we're gonna have to push this one back a bit. I can withdraw. How do you cancel it, though? It was easy to cancel the chess.com one. What if I do this? Can I change the time? Okay, so I can buy us time that way. That's good. So I won't shut this one down. Just join when you guys are ready. Yeah, chess.com is way more intuitive, I find, but that's fine. Oak said he couldn't go on chess.com, so that's why we're on Lichess, and I think some other people prefer that anyway, so that works for me. You also don't need to make an account oftentimes to play here, so like I said, if anyone wants to commentate with me or anything, let me know. What are we discussing? Oh, okay. Alright, I'll push it to 12:18. And there you go, I found the cancel button in case you need to do that. How does one commentate chess? Well, you can watch the games and commentate on them as they go. If you know anything about the game, maybe you can offer insights too into what's going on. Uh, it looks like I'm gonna have to participate though. I can't be a neutral party, so I'll be more playing than commentating probably. But if a match is still going on after mine is done or something like that, then that's what I'll be doing. But I think you can just hop on and watch the games yourself. I don't see Chessus yet. I think you still have to join the team first if people are having trouble with that. So make sure you join the Hellish Quart team that I made. Unfortunately, Lichess is very stingy with that. Info says I'll be destroyed because I suck at chess. Love you all. Yeah, it's okay. I think we're gonna have people of varying skill levels participating. Yeah, no problem, no problem. Venu's here, just need chesses, hopefully info. Cool, cool. So we got 6 participants total. Alright, we're just gonna wait for chesses. There's no rush, by the way, chesses. I can push back the start time infinitely, so since this kind of started out of nowhere, almost done cooking. Yeah, okay, Venu. We'll push it back more, uh, for sure, because I don't want to start as you're cooking, if we can. Actually, I think we got 7 of chesses joined, which is nice. Maybe joining it is a bit difficult as far as speed. Postal. What's that? Maybe Apostle wants to join as well. I'm surprised actually. We're getting this turnout from people who haven't interacted as much with the server, but suddenly they see chess and they're excited, which is cool. Chess is very popular, so I guess that's kind of to be expected. Although Apostle's been with us for quite a while, so I suspect he's looking to join as well. Like I said, there's no set start time. It's just whenever people are ready. Awesome. Okay, yeah, people are just trying to find the link. That makes sense. Yeah, you need the link, I think. No, you don't need VC. VC is not necessary. It's just for anyone who wants to chat or commentate if there's any matches to commentate. Yeah, just be on the Discord for links to the tournament. Yeah, but people need to join the team first, so I'll still post it there. 'Yeah, so Apostle, you're good. I understand the confusion. Here we go. You gotta join this first. Let me check. Yeah, we're not starting right away. Good. 15-10 time control, no cheating. That's basically it. And Swiss format. So 15-10, it means I think I have it on 10-15 actually. I can change that. Um, yeah, I might have misinputted that one. Yeah, so it's gonna be 15-10. That's usually what I play with. Let's buy you some more time as well. Yeah, so we'll do 15-10. And what 15-10 is the games are 15 minutes, and then with each move you gain 10 seconds. First tournament. Yeah, no worries, no worries. So there's no complicated rules. Just show up for your games, don't cheat, and yeah. Masakari? Alright, I'll try and keep that in mind, Apostle. Just join those links and you can join right away. This will be the last call for any new joiners. Chessis is here, excellent. Actually, this is a pretty solid turnout. for chess, so I'm really happy to see that. You're ready to go, Finu? We're not in a rush. It's just good to know. Yeah, no engines or stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, obviously I can't really enforce that, but just no outside help. Yeah, just follow the Lichess rules, pretty much, and you're good. Don't do anything that Lichess could ban you for. It's pretty simple. Just don't get outside help. And it should be unrated, although I imagine a lot of people don't care about the rating on Lichess anyway, but cheating in chess is crazy. Yeah, I don't get why people do it, but nonetheless, it does happen. Yeah. Will the games be parallel? Yeah, so like other people will be playing at the same time. This should go pretty quick, actually. I mean, for a rapid tournament. Toilet gay. Yeah, I remember that. The Masakari. I don't see you. I don't see Masakari. Alright. Going for some biscuits and out of tea. Alright, we just need a possible here, and then we're good to go. I don't see him either in the group or in the tourney. If there's a way to invite him, that would be helpful. But I don't see a way. I think he has to be in the actual team to join. Just Zera gameplay. Yeah. Yeah, Hema match with Zera while drunk. That like Zera's style, that'd be funny. Registered a few minutes ago. I don't see you. Does anyone else not? Is drunk fencing allowed? I imagine typically it's not allowed for safety reasons, but a lot of rules don't, address it at all. Yeah, like if you're actually looking to win, it'd be kind of stupid, wouldn't it? I'm sure people show up hungover all the time, but I suspect actually being drunk would be pretty insane. Yes, password is sword. If anyone's still struggling with that, no capital letters, just sword. He's not in the tourney yet. Yeah, I don't. Maybe he joined the challenge or something, and that's why he's thinking he joined. Because the challenge is no longer relevant. Yeah, he joined the challenge. That's why he's confused. So, yeah, we're not using challenge for this. Yeah, just make sure it's clear. Yeah, I could definitely see a little bit of alcohol being beneficial. Just that shot. Uh, yeah, we're just waiting for a hospital, then we can start at any time. I don't know what's going on. Oh yeah, password is sword. And the reason I put that there is just so that random people can't join. This is just for our community, so. I wish there was a way to just invite him in, because then we could start, and it wouldn't matter, but. Uh, yeah, no kidding. Okay, I'm being pinged. What's up? Alright, Apostle is hopefully joining us soon. Do I leave stream when the tourney starts? Just when I match up against you? Yeah, that's probably best, but I don't. It's best not to stream snipe because that is technically cheating. I suppose I can't stop you, but yeah, if you want to be honorable, that's probably what you should do. I'm pretty silent when I play chess, though, so I don't think you would actually get that much information anyway, unless I was drawing arrows or something. But yeah, I'm pretty quiet anyway, so I suspect you wouldn't get much benefit anyway, but that would be the honorable thing to do. Yeah, it is. If a streamer is trying to keep the chat engaged and they are sort of commentating their own game, then it is totally possible to get stream sniped. Yeah. There's some grandmasters who will fake it actually to catch stream snipers, which is funny. They'll pretend that they made some type of blunder or something. Yeah, that's a risk that I'm taking. It's fun. But like they'll pretend to make some blunder and then the stream sniper will fall into it even though the reasoning why it's a blunder is complete nonsense. So that's always hilarious. Is there move timers? Yeah, so you get 15 minutes and 10-minute increment. So, but I don't think there's a, if you're asking about like whether there's a time limit in which you must make a move, I think it's just at the start that you have to make moves a little bit quickly. And that's just to catch people who are AFK, if it works like chess.com anyway. But otherwise, you can think for a while, so you don't have to feel pressured to, as far as that goes. And the 10-minute increment is actually quite a while, quite a bit. So every time you make a move, you'll get 10 seconds time back. Does that make sense? Otherwise, you can think as long as you want, pretty much, within the time limit. Play like 2 minutes for each side, no increments. Yeah, if you want to do like blitz or something, you can do it that way as well. I could have also done 10 with no increments, but I like to put in increments for my games, so we'll see how this goes. If this takes a bit too long, it is what it is, but I don't think it will, because I find 15-minute games with 10-second increment tend to be about the same amount of time as just a regular 10-minute game, because people often rush, so. I played chess from time to time. I was on a bit of a hiatus for a month, but yeah, I used to play quite a bit. And there's some other people here who also play quite a bit, so uh, you're right. I see what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah. We don't have that. I don't know if there's an option for that in these settings anyway. Because it says initial time. Let's have a look. Initial time, increment. Yeah, I don't see a timer like you're describing. But that makes sense to prevent stalling and stuff. If there's checkers, I'd dominate. Yeah. Haven't played checkers in a while, actually. All right, come on, Apostle. We need you. All right, it's been half an hour. Vinny was like, ew, checkers. Trying to join? All right, what's the problem? Can't log in? Huh. You can just make a new account though, surely. With your browser. Okay. Um, I assume you've tried restarting and stuff like that. The delay is great. Yeah, sorry about this, Venu. I don't know what's up with Apostle, but he's having a browser issue. Pork chops, nice, yeah. I'm gonna have some nice Italian food later today, so. Can you make a new perfect for you? Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I've heard of that one. Haven't played that one. That pirate game. Need some time. Okay. Yeah, sorry about this, guys. I'm not. Alright, you know what? I don't want to delay this more than 1 p.m. because I know it's late for some people, so we'll give them some more time, but well, at some point we gotta just start the game. I'd rather do it with 8, just because I think that avoids the people getting a bye, because that is the one of the issues you can run into with Swiss, but so I think maybe 55. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna see if Apostle is able to join by 12:55 my time. So that's just over 10 minutes, 12 minutes or something like that. Anyway, I don't think I can math right now, but regardless, it's over 10 minutes. And if he can't join within that time, we're just gonna have to start. All right, that's what we'll do. Be right back. I'll just grab some coffee while we wait or something. And I'm back, and it looks like Apostle is with us, so we will start very soon. Um, Wait, what? What the heck happened? Okay, never mind. I'll put it at 12:50, so you guys just have a bit of time to compose yourselves, but we're starting pretty much right away. $45 or so. All right, I'm glad we got Apostle in here. That's who Masakari is, by the way. This will be Swiss, so we'll just do like 4 rounds or so, and we'll see who wins. And if some of you have to dip out in the middle or anything like that, there's no pressure. This isn't intended to be that serious of a tournament, so do not feel obligated to stick around. Okay, Chessus, it's your go. Okay, so you do have a very limited amount of time to play the first move to prevent stalling. I don't know how you pause this, unfortunately. This seems like a Lichess rule. Um, Shit. Oh, it's just until the timer goes. Okay. I was hoping it wouldn't just give me the win. Um, I'll let some time go down on my clock probably when he makes a move. All right, awesome. He's here. All right, beautiful. I'll just let some time go down and then I'll make my next one. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. All right. Yeah, chess is a weird way of making you feel stupid, even though it's not necessarily anything to do with actual intelligence. At least not intelligence the way most people think of it. It is a pattern recognition, which I would argue is a form of intelligence, but it's not like IQ intelligence, right? Sometimes it is a bit of counting though, depending on what's going on. Yeah, that's true. There's different types of intelligence, right? That's what the general theory is now, that IQ is a bit outdated and that there's different forms of intelligence. I feel like I fucked my opening up, but that's okay. I haven't blundered anything, so at least that I'm aware of. Half your roster, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, looks like some interesting games going on. I wish I could have commentated them all, but that's okay. I would have been jumping between games anyway. It would have been kind of hard to keep track of, so that's fine. I'm happy to join in the fun as well. I think you guys can just go watch them anyway if you're on the Discord. Now, here's an interesting question. This, and also that. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Ooh, I also could have. That would have been interesting, wouldn't it? That's okay. Still win that pawn. Thanks, Connor. Your score? Yeah. Yeah, it might be especially if you're talking about elo, it might be if you made a new account. Like it's trying to see what your rating actually is. Okay, that's not a bad move. Yeah, yeah, I think that's what you're talking about. Take. Yeah, it's a good try on his part. I don't think it works, but just gotta watch that. Yeah, exactly, Oak. So if you're playing like 1,500 players, it's like, all right, well, you're clearly not 1,500 if you've lost, so. Okay, I see what he was doing there. Oh shit. Wow, I'm blind. GG. Yeah. I should have seen that. Should have just done something of that nature. Nicely done. I don't know how I didn't see that. I haven't played in a while, so I know excuses though. That was well done. I was focused on trying to punish the queen and not defending my king, so. Well, very well played. Yeah, that was crafty. So I was like, oh, I can pin his king, or not his king, his queen to his king. But that's like a two-step move, whereas he had mate right there. He said he's not good at chess. Yeah, he did pretty good. I think there were some things I probably could have done though, but still, GG, that was well played. Who am I playing? Info, okay. Going for a fee and kettle? Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I will say, I mean, Chess has played a few like unconventional moves, but he played like he was much better than he was letting on at chess, so gotta give him full credit there. Ooh, I think I might have had something better actually. That's okay. I gotta learn to not be so ambitious sometimes. I'm a very tactical player, but if you're falling for stuff, it's not a very good way to play. All right, GG info. Okay, some epic battles going on again, it looks like. I'll be jumping between games, I think. No analysis bar, of course, just for fair play reasons. I don't even know how you would enable it anyway. It might not be possible for that reason, so I know chess.com has it, but best to disable it for our purposes right now. And Chess says it has him rated 1700. So much for being a bad player, hey? He's doing. I mean, he is down at the moment. Oak being up in knight, but Oak is also a really strong player himself, so for how his position looks. My commentary is probably not going to be that impressive, but I would definitely prefer black for obvious reasons. See how the other games look. Helium Huffer against Masakari, that's Apostle. Up a pawn here, Apostle, but definitely looking like a close run game. Apostle playing pretty quickly too. And we got Vinu against Synth over here. And it looks like Synth has a good start against Vinu. Up 2 pawns. Yeah, sorry, Venu. I'm looking at everybody's game, so. Yeah, I fucked mine up too, though. Like, I let a checkmate happen that I didn't have to, but that's what happens sometimes. Back to Oak versus Chessus. It looks like Oak is threatening the queen here. Okay, so we've got Chessus against Oak Eve, and then Helium Huffer, that's actually a new player in the server, against Masakari, that's Apostle. And then we've got Synth against Vinu in these 3 games. This is the second round of the Swiss tournament. And it looks like Vinu is actually on the back foot here. It's funny, some of the people who say they're not that great at playing chess are actually doing pretty well. There's no eval bar for fair play reasons, but you can see who's up. Like what? Right now, actually, this game is looking the most close run with Apostle up a pawn against Helium Huffer. It has Apostle at obviously it's figuring out his rating. That's why there's a question mark. I like that Lichess has that actually. So it's clear that it's not a rating maybe they've earned per se, but at least they've shown that they can win at a certain level. So maybe they're at that level. The site is still trying to determine where exactly they are. It's like on chess.com, you start at a much higher elo than you actually are. As you play games, though, it learns where to put you. Back to Vinu against Usami. Vinu is in a bit of a tight spot here, actually. He is down 2 pawns. You can see he didn't want anyone looking at this game, but still hasn't been blown off the board yet, so there's that. But assuming best play, if you're up 2 pawns, that's actually a pretty big advantage at higher levels. I think for a lot of beginners, 2 pawns doesn't mean that much. And even at my level, like which is 1,000 on chess.com, I mean you don't want to give away 2 pawns. That's especially in an endgame. That's very bad. But it's a comebackable difference in material. Let's put it that way. But if you're a grandmaster, that's like the game over, most likely. Okay. See what Vinu's trying to do. I'm not gonna say it out loud, just in case people are listening. Yeah, infiltrating with the knight there. In fact, actually, kind of think of it, it's a bit pointless to have commentators open unless people wanted to chat. So, Eve, if you're, I think you're doing something else though, so that's fine. But if you did want to come on and chat, you can absolutely do so. Otherwise, I might close it. Whoa, what? What the heck happened there? Oh, that was weird. I don't know if you guys saw that. The bishop disappeared for a moment on my screen. I was like, what the fuck was that bishop doing? Doing some crazy ghost shit. That'd be terrifying if pieces could do that in actual chess. My goodness. Okay. Looks like Oak has traded their chesses. Oak is up material, so that's good for him. You would? Yeah, that's fine. I think you were playing Hunt or something, is what you said. So, no worries. I might just close it then, because that way people aren't listening to the live commentary. I don't suspect anyone's doing any foul play or anything like that. It's just probably best that we close it. But if anyone wants to chat, feel free to let me know, and we can do that. All right, let's get back to the game. Yeah, what Oak's doing here is he's just trading down material. Playing it simple. That's how what you should do when you're up. Would probably blurt out bad moves. That's okay. That's okay. That would actually make for entertaining content, I think. And it looks like Oak has not only a fork incoming, but a discovered attack on the queen. Wow, Oak had so many good moves there. It's not even funny. He could have gone here, forked them, but obviously attacking the queen is even better. So either way, that was bad. And if he went here, hypothetically, the bishop can't take because you've got the queen checking the king. So this looks like game over here for Chessus unless he can figure something out. But I mean that bishop's right here too. So mate could be coming in very soon. In fact, yeah, I don't think there's a way out of this. Going for the trade, but that blunders the queen. Probably the only move to stay alive a bit longer. But it's only delaying the inevitable. Yeah, that was a filthy move. Oak is probably the strongest player on the roster right now, to be honest. But I don't know some of the newer guys that well, so I might be wrong. And I think Oak is just trying to figure out what the best move is. It's hard to make a bad move here. Unless you were like, oh, check the king, but that doesn't end very well. Yeah. So that's what Oak is trying to contemplate here. And he might very well see this, but it doesn't quite work right now because that pawn. Okay, that's actually a good one. Pinning the bishop to the knight. But as I said, I think Chessis is in a lot of trouble here. I don't think he can defend all this at once. Let's see how the other games are going. Oh, it looks like the game between Helium Huffer and was it Masakari? Yes, it was resolved and nice. So Helium Huffer won that one. And again, Vinu hanging in there here, but it looks like he is down even more material. And that is filthy. A little bit of an X-ray there. The rook cannot move because the queen will come under attack. Yeah, I think Usami is a better player than she's letting on, too. Um, yeah, I don't know if there's any good moves for Venu here. I mean, maybe you could... No, there's nothing. I mean, the pawn is defending, so at least it's not free, but that's still a horrible trade for obvious reasons. Felt positionally inferior most of that game. Don't know how you did. Yeah, we all get games like that. Totally understandable. Interesting. Goes for pawn takes, but he's still very paralyzed here. Yeah, Venu's only option there is to try and escape, but yeah. Obviously his opponent saw that move. If Venu wants to win this game, he has to find a way to go on the attack, but with such an overwhelming pawn advantage, I don't see that happening. I've seen crazier things before, but it's very, very unlikely. Looks like Venu's looking to trade down. Might make it a little bit harder for Usami to get that win. But yeah, Usami possibly looking to win the rook. Yeah, Venu moves it, but still got a possible check there. Also can attack the queen pretty soon if he gets the king out of there. Or she gets the king out of there, my bad. There's a check from the rook, though. Venu going on the attack. I don't see the eval bar, so maybe there's something here. Yeah, there might actually be something. Ooh. Uh-oh. I think that was a blundered rook, wasn't it? My goodness. So that was a blundered rook, but it was not seen. So could have just taken it there. Yeah, trading pieces down material is usually a bad move. I get why people do it, but um, okay, that's just you just do that, right? Actually, no, if you're down, that's bad. Yeah, never mind. Um, yeah, that's actually not. So that's an interesting move right there that was played by Usami. Yeah, it was the pawns are. Yeah, okay, never mind. Good thing I'm not playing this game. Apparently, I didn't see that. um, Now Usami's got to be a little bit careful here. I think she does see the problem having the queen here, but hypothetically, if this queen moved somewhere, I don't know, somewhere that doesn't defend that, just there for some reason, uh, suddenly a check here would be pretty devastating. But there's a check. Yeah, Venu's just gotta attack. He can't defend this. He's gotta find a way to get a checkmate. Yeah, this is the only game, so obviously we can't view all the games equally. That's just the limitation of the mode, but this actually there might be some chances here. Trying to think, is there a mate very soon? There might not be, but it's close. Venu has to check, yeah. There it is. That's the move I was expecting he'd play, and then the king has to go there. Yeah, and that's a check. But the queen protects, so that's not so good. So I think the king might actually be able to escape. But you've got this, right? And what then? Can go here, but that's not looking great. King might be able to escape, though. Last Moss is saying me to enough Jägermeister tonight, at least on the chess tournament. Yeah. So Venu's got to think this through here. This is a tough game to win. Um, you could do this, but king just takes. I don't think you want to do that. Does that work? Actually, you've got this. Oh my gosh. Um, yeah, this is not looking good for Usami if Venu can keep the checks going. But that's a big if. Every move here needs to be a check. And actually, it's pretty tough for Usami to land a check of her own, but what Usami can do, if given the opportunity, is just quickly trade down, and then it's not so bad. If you can get the queen involved. The queen's hanging out here, not doing a whole lot, but at least it's guarding this diagonal. Moves the king. Oh yeah, you can't do that because of this. Yeah, okay. Like I said, I'm not that great as a chess player, guys. I'm gonna make mistakes like that, but it's fine. Yeah, so trading, forced to trade down here, but does have this check. So might still be able to get something done if Usami messes something up. It's actually kind of tough for the king to escape now. In fact, yeah. Ooh, check there. Doesn't the king just, yeah, takes the pawn. And that pawn is pinned now. Venu is very low on material. I think Venu actually might have a move here to stay in the game. Yes, that is a check on the king, able to take the rook there. But what Usami can do is do that. Doesn't do that, so that's just a lost rook. Hmm. So what does Venu do here? Yep, takes the rook, fair. But this should still be black's win, surely. Yeah, Venu might be able to draw it. It depends on if Usami knows how to check with a king and a queen, or if something goes wrong here, which I've seen crazier things. Venu's definitely well on the way to drawing it if something goes wrong. It's actually kind of tough. Usami can't really afford to do anything that isn't a check. But at least you've got those pawns. Going to promote, that's something a lot of people like to do when they're up like this, but that might be a bit of a mistake. It's tough to just checkmate with a queen like this, though. So it might end up being a draw. But I would think black is winning based on this position. Especially now. Yeah, like you can literally force your opponent to trade down, perhaps. In fact, if you're black, don't you just do this? And then you've got pawns. But that's easy to see when you're watching. But I think a lot of people also don't like to trade like that, even if it's beneficial. It's actually kind of an epic game here. There's a check. So what's Usami gonna do? Black should win, yeah, surely. It's still black's win. When you're up pawns like this, but yeah, that's the problem. If Venu's able to win those pawns, I think it's not so clear. Yeah, Usami needed to just not overthink this and go for the trade. But now it's this is playing out in an interesting way. I'm sure Venu would be pleased with a draw in this position. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Does Usami see it? She does. And there goes the queen. Yeah, that was a great game. I think it's over here though. Literally no way you can lose this unless you somehow blunder stalemate. Well, you still wouldn't lose though. It'd be a tie, but you know what I mean. Like no way to not win this is what I meant. Now, does Usami just mate with the king and the queen, or does she try to go for two queens is the question. Yeah, the king's never gonna make it. No resignation from Vinu though. Which is fine, by the way. There's no rules about that. Just, especially because you don't know the level of some of the opponents, it's sometimes good to just play it out and see if you can get a stalemate. So, it's no big deal. Vinny's the type of guy to get a stalemate here. Yeah, 100%. Especially if Usami doesn't know about ladder mating. Which I don't know if she does or not, by the way. I'm not aware of how good she is at chess. She was saying she's not very good, but I'm starting to question that. We've had this at the Tekken tournament too. People were coming in saying they're not good at Tekken, but then, oh my goodness, don't stalemate this. Okay, this should be it. Like, there's no way to mess this up. Oh, there's two different ways to finish it. Oh no. Yeah, this is looking like stalemate territory unless Usami figures it out. Literally, just give a check and you'll never stalemate. But you gotta finish it. Because there's the 50 move rule or something too, right? And also you can't repeat. If you repeat positions, it could also be a draw. Okay, this is easy. Alright, surely it's over now. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Ladder mate. Alright, GG's, guys. The pairings will be made very soon. This will be our third round. Time's actually fairly reasonable, although it's, it's a little bit long, but it's no longer than like a Hellish Court tournament, so it's good to know for next time, like just how long this takes if we do rapid. Yeah, you'll get better if you keep playing info, at least if you enjoy the game. I think chess is just one of those games, if you never enjoy it ever and you try getting good at it, it's just going to be never-ending frustration, so. Okay, who am I playing? Usami, okay. And I know Usami is not a player to mess around with, so see what she can do. What opening is this? Is this the bird opening? Guess we'll find out with analysis later. Mm, yeah. That was about 3 years ago. Okay, so you have played before, yeah. I was gonna say, like, surely you've at least played before. Hmm, could trade or I could. You can see how I like to play chess from what I'm doing here. Is this just mate? Because I see this, but also no move suggestions in the chat. Not that I look at the chat, but still, it should go without saying. I'm pretty sure it's just mate, right? Like, what can he do here? What can she do here? Yeah, that's just mate. Well, GG. Wow. Yeah, GG. I just didn't expect that. Like I was going for a fork. I wasn't going in expecting to get a checkmate. Because I saw this at first, right? That I can fork you here. But then I looked and I was like, well, your king's exposed, so. I gotta say though, you're a strong player for somebody who hasn't played in a while. But I think it kind of showed there a little bit, no offense, but that's what I guess happens when you've taken a break for a while is you have those good moments because you have that foundation, but then you're just not as sharp, so sometimes you make blunders or whatever. Chess is a tough game. Very, very tough game. And all it takes is to lose focus, and all of a sudden you're in trouble. Okay, everyone's just mostly doing their openings so far, but okay, what's... Ooh, I don't like Chess's position at all here. Masakari just going ham. That's apostle, by the way. Gotta remind myself of that. But yeah, this is not looking fantastic. Triple fork incoming there. And yeah, has to trade. But Jesus, that's a nasty move. Because you got that check now. And then there's a check here. We might see another finished game very shortly. Although, yeah, you can block like that. But still, this is not a good position here for black. You don't want your king out in the open, and obviously being down so much material, also not good. How's Venu versus Info going? Info has her knight trapped by the look of it. And also wasn't quite able to castle properly. So now this rook is kind of stuck in limbo for a while. And you've got this knight threatening the fork here. Assuming Venu can bring a piece to defend that spot. Alright, I'll leave this game up, of course, but I'll be right back. Just gotta go to the bathroom real quick. Alright, I'm back. Ooh, that's an interesting one right there. So, I don't know if info's gonna see this, but actually that doesn't work because of this. I think you just trade here, though. Can't be losing your knight for free. I don't like how on Lichess, by the way, you can't draw, like, angled arrows. Or maybe you can, and I just don't know how. But chess.com is a little bit easier with that, but that's just a really small thing. Obviously, people know how knights move, so it's not hard to figure out. Ooh, a lot of games were done in a flash, it looks like. We got just these two. Yeah, this is actually a pretty epic battle right here as well. Alright, just wondering who's pinging me. Mostly on other topics, not this competition, so. Glad people have been able to stick around, by the way. I know it's a little bit long, but, nothing different from what we usually do with Hellish Court stuff, so. I think 4 rounds is about the sweet spot for 8 people. I think that's what Tao usually does for Swiss anyway, so that makes the most sense. And the games are happening at the same time, so that really helps with the time management too. So we're not waiting for matches to end before we proceed with the next one. Because imagine how long that would take. That would be pretty ridiculously long. Okay, so info goes with this move here. Not just take like that. Yeah, it's just a free pawn. I see the idea behind that move, but now the bishop's under attack. Could do this, but yeah, generally don't want to surrender a pawn for no reason if you can avoid that. But I do see the idea there. That fork obviously looked very enticing. There is a funny trap black might be able to do. And Vinu's the type of player who might see it. I feel like it relies on your opponent falling for it though, and often you don't want to play moves like that in chess because you gotta assume that your opponent's always gonna play the optimal move. You can't assume they'll play the worst move. But if you did something like this, I think that just wins a rook. Again, assuming your opponent like doesn't see that. I don't know if it's forced. I don't think it is. Because I think you just move your bishop aside and you're fine. So Venu up in exchange here. But then there's... Oh, wait, took the bishop. Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention there. That was nice from info. Ready? Is the other game still going? Yes, it is. All right, let's have a look quickly. Oh, that's a nasty move. Helium just landed a fork on Oak there. Quite a time to come in on the Oaks game here. Yeah, and pre-move that, of course, because why wouldn't he take that? Yeah, so at this point, Helium huffers up a queen. That's probably why he was so enthusiastic to join this one. Seems to have some good chess skills there. Back to info against Vinu. Takes the bishop back. And now Vinu's up a pawn. Is that just not just another freebie there? I gotta say, info played some good moves there. It's just, as often happens uh, with players at the beginner level, and I have done this many times, I'm not saying I'm above that. At some point, you struggle to convert after an advantage. It's one of the most frustrating things in chess when you get an advantageous position somehow, but then you can't convert it. Yeah, but I've had this happen many times to me as well. Uh, it doesn't stop happening when you're 1000 necessarily, let's put it that way. There's a check. Yeah, that's a nasty one there. In fact, that might be the game, right? Because you go here, takes, and it's just over, right? I think that's the only legal move. Well spotted there. And this is why it's so important that you castle and that you make sure your king has an escape square. Yeah. But obviously Venu did something to force info to not be able to castle. Uh, nice. That's a good move. And if you take, check, and you win another piece right there. I'm sure Oak sees that. But how do you defend it? Yeah, that's a good one. But you got this move here. Yeah. The stream is delayed, by the way, so people are very unlikely to benefit from my analysis, especially now that I'm not. in the voice chat. Nice. Black takes it there. Nice from Helium. And this should be the final round for on the fourth one, so. Nobody seems to be able to stop Helium, so. Yeah, GG's, guys. It's been a fun tournament. Okay, I'm playing against Helium now. Alright. Oh, is this Queen's Gambit? Nice. Yeah, this is all planned. Uh-oh. If I go there, he just forces me back. Obviously you can't just leave the knight there. It's fine. Crazy moves. Yeah, it's a trade of bishops there, and not looking too good there. Yeah, Helium's definitely a strong player. Not that I claim to be that strong. I'm like intermediate level at best, but seems to know what he's doing. He's beaten everybody so far. Oh dear. Uh, yeah, it's not a particularly good move. Um, is that actually good for him though? Yeah, I don't know, man. This is. Oh shit, yeah, you can just take. Yeah. Okay. And now he's taking the rook. If I can threaten one of his pieces back, it's not so bad, but I don't think I can. And he's also attacking my queen. That's the. This is crazy. Um, It might have been, yeah. Yeah, that was a good move right there. Yeah, it's a tough one you did there. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Yeah, it's a puzzler. At least for me it is. But does this work? Yeah, I'll try this. Oh shit. I lost yeah, see I lost focus there. Nicely done. All right. Brain just turned to jelly. Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's exactly how I feel right now. Yeah, I forgot about my queen somehow. That's funny. Because I acknowledged that earlier. Like, I could have just moved my queen. That's fine. Yeah, that was a really nice one. Okay, I see what he's trying to do, I think. That. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's no question. What do I do here, though? Okay. Yeah, I don't think there's any fantastic moves here. It's just a matter of hoping my opponent makes a mistake, which obviously isn't a fantastic way to play chess, but thanks. Okay, bishop's under attack. Don't like that he can do this, of course, but no. Yeah, I think he's. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just down, so. Yeah, I'm toast no matter what. He makes a rook. What does it say your strength is? Yeah, possibly 2000s. Yeah, that sounds about right. Very well played. Yeah, once you've got opposition, it's over. Surely. Flexing here, king and rook. Yeah, it's gonna be over very soon. And that's GG. There's still games going? Wow. Some epic battles, I suppose, for the final round there. Yeah, GG, you're obviously a very strong player. Well-deserved first place spot there. I feel like I also made a mistake there too, so well done exploiting it. Okay, Oak against Apostle here. Apostle has also proven to be a pretty strong player. In fact, Oak blundered his queen at some point, it looks like. You gotta keep in mind, for a lot of these EU players, it's like late at night or something too, so. And Chessis is ahead in material, or actually not anymore, but I mean, he's got a queen, so. That's still not ideal for Vinu, but not quite as bad. You play a bit, yeah, it shows for sure. You're exhausted? Yeah, you must be. You're over in Southeast Asia. The first mistake was actually the first knight move. Interesting. Yeah, I should analyze that some point. Yeah, 'cause I don't think I realized that was a mistake, so, in the game, so. Either way, it gives white massive tempo advantage if you take back with knight or queen. Right, yeah. And it looks like Oak is kind of forced to trade down here. Knight's pinned, so he can't move. Can defend it with a pawn, but then you lose a bishop with a check, so yeah, not good for white. Yeah, that's the biggest problem I had there. I got passive because you had the advantage. That's what it seemed like anyway when I was playing. Yeah, it doesn't go for the trade, which is understandable. The knight doesn't take the bishop, just goes for a check. Ooh, and that's a fork. No, it isn't. No, it doesn't quite work. But again, you can just force white to trade, and ooh, nice. I see what is being attempted here, but yeah, you gotta check there. What does Oak do here? Yeah, tries to run to safety, but yeah, you just check there. Comes down, and it's like something like, well, no, that doesn't work, but like the king's under attack. Got that. Again, don't want to repeat too much though. Yeah, I'd say you just trade down here. Yeah, that's sensible. Yeah, and you don't want to trade the queen, of course, but now there's an opportunity to trade that rook. And that rook's under attack as well. Nice. Yeah, but you just check the king like that. And that's a forced trade. Yeah. It's more of a question of how long Oak can stay in the game than if he can win now. But oh, Vinu's actually ahead material now. He's made quite a comeback here. Coordinating his pieces here so the queen's not as big of a threat as Chessis might have been hoping. You can't do that because that. So the queen doesn't have any clear attacks right now. If you have enough pieces, actually, like theoretically, they should be better than a queen, actually, in my experience. If you use them properly. If you don't, I mean, the queen can pick them off. But only if you have enough material, obviously. Yeah, yeah, I'll try and host something sometime in the middle of the week. Won't be Wednesday or Thursday, I don't think. I'm thinking like Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, for sure. I'm hoping for Sava as well, the next character that he's promised, but also Chess has just blundered his queen. I looked away and now the queen's gone. Oh, that's a mate too. Nicely done from Vinu. And that's it. So I got fourth place. I'll take that. um, we got some strong competition here. GG's, guys. Yeah. And then Oak got third. Congrats to him. Postel got second, proving to be a really strong closet chess player. I had no idea he even played chess. And then Helium, of course, there's no surprise there. Fantastic player. Got the first place spot. So I won't keep you guys here any longer than I need to. Thanks to everyone for showing up. That was a really pleasant surprise. Definitely Hellish Court next time. Whether it's Monday or Tuesday, I'll let you guys know. And I'll see you next time.